Today we're going to dive into what is in my travel emergency grab and go bag. So here's what is normally down inside our kind of emergency travel bags. And this is one that I really like to use when we're on longer trips. This is a Disney Cruise Line bag, and on the interior it has kind of a plastic lining, so if you have a leak or something like that, it will not get onto the fabric. This is a smaller one that I toss down inside my park bags, and it works really great for shorter trips as well. So I like having a different variety of items on hand for emergencies, and I will kind of switch this out based on the trip as well. But here's some of my go-to items that I really love to have on hand when we're traveling. So first things first, I think that this is like the emergency must-have area. I always have some Kleenex on the goes on hand, and that's just because when you're with kids, someone always needs a Kleenex. I also usually have shout wipes and lens wipes, and this is a new addition. I did go to a Disney event a few years ago, and I spilled something on my dress. I did not have my emergency bag with me, and another YouTuber loaned me their Tide pen. It got strawberry out of my dress. I was so thankful, and ever since then I've always made sure I've had a Tide to go pen. So those are awesome. And then I always usually have these little kind of, they're like rubber bands, but they're kind of like a slinky. I really like those because they don't get caught in your hair, and I always have those. This is probably the most unusual item that I have in my emergency bag, but especially when we're going to Disney, I always have some of these carabiner clips on hand, and I usually always have at least one or two on my lanyards. This is how I keep track of my cameras, but they also work really great, as I've shared in other videos, for holding things on your stroller, strapping bags together, putting accessories together. These are literally the most emergency great item to have just in case. Then for medicines, I usually have some Benadryl on hand, something like, acetaminophen or ibuprofen. I have this tiny little pill case that I can't even remember where I got, but I'll take this with me if it's just a short day trip for down inside my park bag, or for just a shorter weekend trip. If we're going for a longer trip, I'll usually get some travel size of all of those different kind of over-the-counter medicines. I also really enjoy having over-the-counter Tums, just in case, because we like trying different foods when we're on trips, and you never know. Something that I started getting when we were on cruises, and it works really great for travel, are these Sink Suds detergent. It's just in case you need to wash anything. I try to not overpack clothing, although sometimes it's hard, and so this is really great to wash out something if you need to, and just a great emergency item to have in your bag. Also right now, I think it's very handy to have Clorox wipes to go. I use these to wipe down everything. I'm going to be flying soon, and so this is something that I will use on the airplane to wipe down the tray and all of that. Then this next row is just for me, basically personally, to have on hand. I absolutely love these Tiger Balm pain relieving patches. I use these all the time. They work great for travel because sometimes you might, I don't know, just twist something a little bit, or you're working muscles you don't normally work, and these really help for instant pain relief. They work great for me. So I get these at Target, and I have started taking those anytime that we're going somewhere, just to have on hand, and I use them a lot at home as well. I also really like these little mini Sephora makeup wipes. These are great to have on hand, especially if you're all sweaty, just if you need a quick refresh. And then of course Band-Aids, because I have kids and we will inevitably need a Band-Aid a day basically. Then for cruises, because we do have a cruise coming up in the not too distant future, still a little ways off, these are some cruise specific items that you would see if we were going on a cruise and I needed a cruise emergency pouch. We do take Bonine and Dramamine just kind of preventatively to kind of help with any motion sickness. So Bonine for the adults, and I get this Dramamine for kids to have on hand. I also always have a C-band with me. This is like just in case of emergency. We've actually never had to use it, knock on wood, but I always have that on hand as well. I also really like these ginger mints if you're just kind of, the boat's rocking a little bit, you just need to take the edge off a little bit. These ginger mints from Trader Joe's work really, really well for that, so I typically always try to get a pack of these before we leave to go on a trip. And the last thing, exclusively for cruises, because we're usually doing a lot of swimming and water activities, I usually always have some earplugs. And the reason being is because Natalie's had a lot of ear issues. She used to have ear tubes when she had to have these in when she swam. So these are just good extra item to have on hand for those instances when we're going to be in the water more often than not. So hopefully you guys enjoyed seeing everything down inside the pouches, and I'll kind of show you how I put everything in my small day pouch. So here is everything down inside what would typically be in a park bag, emergency bag. You've got your kind of spot treaters, Kleenexes, wipes, a little bit of to-go medicine, definitely lens wipes are something that I heavily use in this bag a lot, Band-Aids, pretty much all of the essentials that you might just need to grab. And then back in the room, I usually always carry kind of the more extensive, more medical items that we might need, detergent, and then for the cruise, I leave all of the extra stuff in our room because you're never too far from your room. So hopefully you've enjoyed seeing what I put down in my emergency grab-and-go travel bag. Let me know if you have any questions down below, and thanks for watching. Have a great day.